I've always said you're only as good as your last settlement.
And I think when you're dealing with a lot of real estate professionals, it's never easy.
And the bar is super high. Like, there are so many conferences in the industry, and you just need to stand out.
Welcome to Perspectives Unlocked. I am Leo, and today we have a CEO lineup. Tamir Poleg, CEO of Real, Samir Dedhia, CEO of Real Mortgage, and Nancy Marsden, CEO of Real Title. You have seen the momentum building. You have felt the energy at rise. This is part of your leadership team behind the business. In this episode, they break down how we are uniting brokerage, mortgage, and title into one experience. They talk about culture, innovation, and the mission that is pushing Real forward. Let's dive in.
Tamir, what's up, buddy? Nancy, what's
good.
up?
Hey, how
We're
are
all
you?
here. The party's here.
Yeah, we're here at Rise.
Yeah.
That's right.
What an
been
exciting week.
amazing.
My first one,
Your first one.
so it's been great.
So, real quick topic on Rise, though. I remember coming 4 years ago before we got acquired. And I'm like, I didn't know really what to expect. And the energy was insane. And then I remember chatting with you on my plane ride back home, thinking like, I don't know how we're going to top this next year, right?
That's what we tell ourselves every year.
Every year. And every year it just gets better.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And if you look at the marketing team, what an amazing job they have done.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, the work that goes into Rise.
It takes a year.
I can't even
to
imagine.
plan an event
Yeah.
of 2.5 days.
No, and I think when you're dealing with a lot of real estate professionals, it's never easy.
And the bar is super high. Like, there are so many conferences in the industry, and
No,
you
I
just
know.
need to stand out.
So I've been to a lot of conferences in this industry, and I will say, this is the best one.
I've heard that multiple times.
No,
today.
I agree. Well, I think what makes it great is the energy,
Yeah.
right? I
The
think
people.
it's always about the people.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, if
not
you-
us. It's
No,
the
It's
agents.
never
if
about
you
us.
walk down, like I've walked this hallway several times today, every single person has a smile on their face.
Yep.
Like, that's something I hardly have ever seen at any conference. They're all smiling.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
And it always comes down to the people, right? I think we say it all the time. Like the
100%.
process, the technology, those are all great. And I always believe it drives more efficiency than anything, but the people is what makes the magic happen,
Yeah.
right? And so even within that, if you think about people, like we have a lot of amazing people here at Real who all, I don't know if we can curse here, but they have
We
the,
cannot.
we cannot. They have the give a blank factor, right? Our teams all have the give a blank factor where they all truly care about the growth of our company.
Yeah.
And I think as we evolve, I tell everyone that the real estate game is changing. Real estate isn't just about providing one service anymore. It's about providing multiple services. So to me, I know this wasn't an idea that you woke up one day and said, hey, we want to buy a mortgage company and a title company. What sparked it?
We started Real because we wanted to create a company that always finds way to make agents' lives better. And we were so focused on the agents, we still are. And at some point, I think it was 6 years into the journey, around 2020 or maybe 2021, we realized that we're starting to build a platform that really attracts a lot of agents and is very beneficial and provides a lot of value. And I think that at that moment, we understood that if we truly care about our agents, we need to care about their clients as well. And then we started thinking about, okay, what's not going well or what's not working for home buyers and home sellers? And then we decided to zoom in on the home buying process. And as we dove into all of the different things that buyers need to go through and how they feel and the emotional journey, and we talked to a lot of buyers, we realized that as a buyer, it's just not great. So it's the third most stressful event in a human's life after death in the family or losing your job. You do not control anything. There's no transparency. We just received so much feedback that was negative, and that kind of got us thinking, okay, how can we change that? We then understood that there are a few main building blocks to a real estate transaction. There's the brokerage piece, which is everything that you do with your agent. There's the mortgage that at the end of the day enables you to have the money to close on the home. There's the title piece that ties everything together. And those are the three main building blocks. And we said, okay, if we want to take a shot at truly changing the way people buy and sell homes, we need to own and control those three building blocks and integrate them in a seamless way so that for a buyer, they would need to talk to different stakeholders, not really understand what each of them say, take care of syncing between all of them, we need to create something different. So we said, okay, now we understand that we need to own title and we need to own mortgage. And then the next step is, what kind of a mortgage company and what kind of a title company do we want to own? Because we were looking for people that understand title, understand mortgage, but also understand that those industries are not efficient at the moment, and they're not providing the kind of service that people expect, and they're thinking outside of the box, and they believe in technology. So we went through a process of looking for smaller companies, tech forward, with some kind of scale already in place, and that's how those two acquisitions happened.
You bought a title company first.
Right.
Was there any like thoughts behind that process? Because I think even for any, just naturally speaking, for any entrepreneur, any leader, founder, there's a whole like flow of, and sometimes things just happen, right? Like this kind of happens by luck sometimes. But what was the thought process around like, all right, we're gonna go through this process of acquiring a title company, which was first before us, right? Kind of walk us through that. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, between title and mortgage, we thought that it would be easier to integrate title first because mortgage is more dependent on consumer choice, and when it comes to title, consumers don't really care about which title company you're going to use. Right. So we said, okay, let's try and integrate title. Title is also a little bit of a simpler business, so it was that.
Yeah, and then mortgage.
And then came mortgage.
Came mortgage.
Then came mortgage.
Which happened, I think, a year later.
1 year apart.
Yeah, exactly 1 year
apart.
Yeah.
Nancy, so you joined recently. You
Yes.
have a vast experience in title,
I
like
do.
tremendous amount.
Yeah.
Walking into title, knowing that the consumer experience is number one, paramount for everything we do. What was the first thing you did
When
when you joined One Real Title?
I joined Run Real Title, you have to take a look at what we're providing. That's number one. I've always said you're only as good as your last settlement. And agents will never, ever give you their business just because you are part of their company. If you're going to cost them reputation or you're going to cost them clients, they're not coming back. So you really have to have a service and a level of service. And I think for all of the companies that I've been at, I never wanted to lose sight of the agent. So when I first started in title, it was all about the agents. I worked in an office with agents. I was eating lunch with agents. I was living and breathing agents, and I loved my agents. Like, it was weirdly possessive, right? When you started in 2020 in the virtual world, that became a lot harder. And I noticed that in my last position as we were virtual. Coming here, I wanted to make sure that I bridged that gap.
Yep.
While I was improving service, I wanted to bridge that gap. And hiring locally was probably paramount in my mind.
Yep.
We had to have that local presence. We had to have people who were willing to go to the agents' events and meet the agents. Because I think virtually it's a bigger leap nowadays. It's harder. But I think that was the first thing that I really service, and getting that local talent.
And what year did you start in the title game? I don't want to age you, but I'm just asking.
1998.
Okay. So I was 2003. So the reason I bring it up is it's interesting, right? For a lot of us who've been in real estate, title, mortgage, coming from the old school, we're now the old cats in the room, if you will, right? When we probably start off being the youngest cats in the room. Before technology evolved, before social media evolved, before everything evolved, we had to do things manually. And manually, I say loosely, right? But I remember having the clients come to the office and manually write the application, photocopying documents, and all these things. But the one thing there was we got to connect with people more. Real estate agents, right? Locally, clients, locally. It was such an amazing experience. I think sometimes that becomes like a little bit of a lost art.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Does the consumer care about this? Like
Today's consumer does not.
does not.
And you're 100% right.
I'm going to fight that, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Title, they do care. And I will tell you why.
The consumer.
The consumer does care. Because when you are sitting in front of them and there is a question on their mortgage documents, on a notary, when's trash day, what's the local school like, they want to be there across from the seller. They want to ask the question. So do they care? Yes. Are they willing to sacrifice that for convenience? They are.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something to be said about sitting at a table with people, and we do offer that.
And that's that's probably due to lack of clarity or transparency. If
Correct.
documents were easy and understandable and everything was clear, they wouldn't mind. They would just sign it at their home and that's it, send it. The reason why they want to sit there is because they want that confidence that this set of papers that we didn't read and we know nothing about is kind of, we get covered because we sit in a room with humans that probably has our backs.
And honestly, now that you say that, I'm thinking in my brain, the documentation that borrowers or buyers sign, we tell ChatGPT, break it down to a 5th grade reading level because it's easy to understand. That's what probably we should do. That might be the next project, by the way.
Yeah, maybe.
No, but I think the human connection piece is important from the perspective of building relationships, right? So with real estate professionals especially, when we think about clients, most of us think about our specific borrowers, the end user, which is a client or a customer of ours. But I think in our ecosystem, the beauty that we have is our clients are also the agent, right? Like servicing the agent is massively important, and molding a process and flow around the agents and their consumers, empowering them to be able to give the best consumer experience with us almost in the background, I think that's massive.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
But doesn't that make perfect sense with all of us being under one roof?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
And the agent can control it with a phone call?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
I'm bailing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's right around 12 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. So now that Tamir has left, and it's just me and you, Samir,
Oh.
I got a question for you.
Oh, boy. Do I want to answer this? Go ahead. Go for
I
it.
don't know. You want to answer it.
Go ahead.
We're both here. We're both part of Ancillary Services.
Yep.
We are the future of real. Let's just be honest. It's up to us, right? And we're both, we're not high in attach rate. Let's just be honest. Low is low.
Yeah.
What is your biggest challenge getting adoption?
The biggest challenge, I believe, is removing this stigma in the mortgage industry, at least, around your mortgage company is your vendor. To me, the mindset has to shift. And I think that starts even with loan officers in our space, where we should not think of ourselves as vendors either. The beauty of having it integrated into one place is that we're all partners. Like, we're truly partners. Like, not even just on equity, but we're partners in this massive rocket ship that we're building together. So a lot of it comes from, and I'm always a thumb pointer type mentality, so what can I do to change that mindset? And I believe where we've progressed, but you're right, the attachment isn't where we need it to be. Number one, it's really understanding what agents need and molding, being flexible, I should say, not molding, being flexible around how we can offer them value to get them to where they need to go. So that to me is the challenge. Or the challenge is being able to get in front of enough people, speak to enough agents to have them feel that, okay, we are partners. Because you've been here for a shorter amount of time, right? But I believe like it's very similar themes. Like the great part is they're willing to actually have the conversation with us, learn more, etc. The hardest part is getting them to almost lock in to say, all right, yep, we're good to go, let's do it. And getting the execution part laid out. So I think we've done a pretty good job of creating a little bit of brand awareness as much as we can, but we're still struggling in a way to get the execution to where we want it to be. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kick it back to you. What has been your biggest challenge?
You know what? After all of these months, I'm getting tired of talking about the past, right? I'm done.
Yep.
We're a brand new company. I think one of my biggest challenges is getting out there the value of using One Real Title. Besides the fact that it's a JV, I mean, let's be honest, there are no big brokerages out there that are going to give up part of their revenue to their agents. That's what makes Real so different
100%.
than your EXP, your Compass. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Right? We are such a revenue stream. But that can't be it.
Yep.
Right? So getting out our value proposition to the agents, showing them that at an 85% profit margin, and we don't need the money. Like, that's the thing. Title doesn't need that money.
Yep.
We could take all of that. It goes right back into the brokerage. We pay for Hey Leo 5.0, right? We pay for the cap fees. We pay for those things when we get to that level. And that's why I say we're the future.
Yep.
We hold in our power, the two of us, so much potential for real. And I feel like just getting that out in front of the agents,
So
that's
here-
my challenge.
So as we wrap up, I have a question to ask you. What is one thing that you, from the title side, could tell a real estate agent that you feel would get them listening and wanting to work with One Real Title?
I could tell them all about the JV, right? Nobody goes to college and comes out and says, I want to be a title agent.
Mm-hmm.
I fell into this by mistake and I never left. And that's because I don't want to sell real estate. I don't want to work that hard. The agents work really hard.
Yeah.
And I really, truly, honestly want to make their lives easier. And I want to be that partner. And I've always been a partner to my agents. All the agents I worked with 28 years ago are still friends of mine. We still call each other. They still call me for advice. I like to see people achieve their dreams, and that's the dream of home ownership. And I want to be part of that. And the people who make it happen every day, I want them to stay my clients.
That's a great answer. That's
So,
really good.
How about you?
For me, when I think of stigma, I should say, the perception of having the in-house lender, and we had to fight that early on, in-house lenders never work. I've never seen a massive company like a Real, right, similar size, bring on mortgage and title and have it work. But I don't believe it's because it can't work. I believe it's how we integrate and how we implement and how we offer value to our agents, right? So I tell this to everyone. I just had a conversation with someone saying the in-house services in real estate companies generally don't work because the cultures don't align, first and foremost.
Okay.
So if we think about it, we started earlier, it's all about the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference in when Tamir brought us as individuals in, right? Because look, the reality is, bring 1 million people in. Like there's endless companies that would want to say, yes, let me come to Real. But the reason he brought us in, number one, yes, we work hard, we're gritty, we can roll our sleeves up. I believe he understands that we know how to connect with people, how to integrate cultures, which is very important. And that's the foundation of it, right? Like we can have great products, great rates, all those things. And many people have tried this. Never get adoption. And even though our adoption's small, it's much larger than most companies that have been trying in a virtual world, if you will, right? Where we're not physically sitting in every single branch office around the country. We're doing this virtually. So I believe that for me, it's really ensuring that when I speak to an agent, letting them know that not only do we have the experience combined of being in the space and understanding how a transaction operates in mortgage and title, which is, I think, great, and it's a lost art, but it's also understanding the importance of our culture as a company. We are one company, right? We're all family. We're all part of it. And the more we remove the walls of mortgage, title, real estate and say, we're real. That's all we all together. And all of us have an obligation to ensure that we're all putting our hand out to help and making sure that no one's feeling siloed, right? And so I think that's always been the thing where Real's, I see it more and more. Obviously for us, we have to always make sure that we're hammering that because I think people forget. But the more we put ourselves out there and be with the people, the better I believe conversions will come.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives Unlocked today. Tamir, Samir, and Nancy showed exactly what it takes to build something bold. They are leading with clarity, culture, and a vision anchored in serving agents and consumers at the highest level. If this conversation lit you up, share it with someone inside Real who should hear it. I am Leo. See you on the next episode.